Are you a motherless daughter? What if we told you we have 20 years worth of truth treasures, pearls of wisdom, and diamonds of hope to help you with your mother loss? We do, and we share all things mother loss on Nurturing Words, Voices of Experience, a podcast by the Motherless Daughters Ministry. Give yourself some self-care and listen as we discuss grief, regret, anger, redemption, closure, and so much more.
Welcome to episode number 8. Today, we're exploring mother loss that happens during the adolescent years, namely 13 to 18 years of age. If you experienced mother loss of any type during those years, I encourage you to stay with us a few minutes and listen in.
Today, I wanted to share knowledge with you about the 13 to the 18-year-old who loses a mother in that age and how that affects you today. Mother loss during these years, this is when women experience the most human, emotional, developmental challenges as any age. Adolescence is all about getting balanced. And if you experienced mother loss when you were in that 13 to 18-year-old age group, your developmental tasks were challenged. In what ways does that affect you today? And what can you do about that? There's just some basic questions that adolescents struggle with. And it's basically, who am I and how do I fit? So it's during this time of adolescence transition from that child to adulthood. And it's very important. Children become more and more dependent, and they begin to look at their future in terms of career, relationship, families, housing, and how they want to belong as an individual to society and fit in. So the adolescent is re-examining their identity and trying to figure out exactly who they are. They are attempting to answer the questions, who am I and how do I fit in? So as we talk about adolescents who experience mother loss through either death or emotional absence, from the ages of 13 to 18 years old, what you have to know of all the stages of human development, there are more tasks to be mastered in this stage than anything else, any other stage. So when you think about adolescence, it's all about, if you could sum it up, it's all about a sense of balance, getting balance. So if we lose something, we work really hard to gain our equilibrium. We've all been there. Think about these developmental tasks on a continuum. There's a tremendous amount of human emotional and developmental tasks related to adolescence. And in each of those, when mother loss hits, you get stuck. So with each developmental task, there's an extreme. And you think about it on a continuum. So there's one side and then the other side. So for instance, one of the developmental tasks is learning to deal with authority. That's part of it. In one extreme, there is dependence. So there's dependence on authority, and on the other extreme, there's independence. Now, the goal in all of that is to hit the middle for interdependence and realizing authority has a role and we must respect them. But we also knew we have to listen to our own wisdom too. Another example that's really, really hard is learning to live with ambivalence and ambiguity. On one extreme, you have one side that says there are rules and I must follow those rules. And on the other side, there is no rules, and life is all about doing what I please. But the balance is in the center. So figuring all that out, and there's many, many other developmental tasks that have to do with this age group and what we're talking about. But what you have to know is when you have mother loss as an adolescent, you get stuck. Everything can be halted because of that, mother loss. When women experience mother loss during this stage, one of the things that adolescents do is they spend an enormous amount of time just trying to look normal to the outside world. That's common adult behavior. But a motherless daughter often works so hard at trying to maintain her aura of competence and control. The more composed a teen is after experienced mother loss, the greater risk of experiencing long-term unresolved grief.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our chat about mother loss during adolescence.
Mother loss is a lifelong grief journey. The scars go deep and the pain can be relentless. It affects every aspect of a woman's being, regardless of age of loss or how the loss occurred. The hole is deep and filled with many emotions. Our online support group focuses on this journey and the difficult obstacles that get in the way of true healing. The Motherless Daughters Ministry online support group offers a safe place where motherless daughters can deepen relationships and develop a support network for continuous healing. Regardless if you lost your mother through death or through absence, you do not have to be alone. We meet via Zoom the first Monday of each month from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the fourth Monday of the month from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register by going to our website at www.motherlessdaughtersministry.com and click on Groups and Classes. Select Motherless Daughters Support Group and register for the date you wish to attend. We hope to see you soon.
One of the things that I have, people have said to me before, that, her mother just died and look at her, and they were at a funeral home. She's over talking to her friends. Well, that's normal. Adolescents will want to seek out whatever is normal. They want to be normal. So you'll see that. Now, I will share with you that this is my age group. I was 15 when I lost my mother, so I'm in this group. Interesting, I went back for a high school reunion, and a fellow classmate expressed, we got to the restroom, and a fellow classmate said to me, "Oh, I always wanted to be you. You had it all. You were a cheerleader, you were a homecoming queen, you were popular." Then I told her, my mother had died when I was a sophomore, and I didn't have a father. She was shocked. She said, "I never knew. You always acted as if everything was wonderful in your life." So that's an example. I did that. Adolescents will also try to manufacture a new identity that exists independent of her loss. One woman, Susan, went away to college, and then after her mother died. But when her sister came to visit her in college, no one even knew that Susan had a sister, or that her mother had died. As Susan and her sister, so they were totally different. Susan hid the fact she wanted to look normal, and she hid the fact that she had family connections, that her mother was deceased. So they really were estranged, and then they came back together as adults. And her sister shared it was a shame that Susan and her were not connected for all those years. Susan responded she had closed the door on that chapter of her life, and her sister was part of it. She had worked hard to manufacture a new identity. These women also often become mini mothers to fathers and other siblings. They are expected to pick up the roles that the mother did previously. Faced with that kind of responsibility, they may become overachievers and become exhausted, or they may get into a bad relationship or run away or just use that relationship to escape. They have to grow up fast, and they also are not able to be a kid. A woman shared with me, a motherless daughter, that she wanted to get out of the home as fast as she could, and that she could not be a mom, nor did she want to be the mom. So she held up to the first guy who paid attention to her and wanted to marry her. It only lasted a few years, but those years were horrible. She chose to get married to escape. All of the struggles of adolescence lead up to a very important life transition. At the end of adolescence, and I'm talking about late adolescence, there's a developmental process called individuation. It's a normal part of human development where the adolescent separates and begins to form her own identity. But if mother loss occurs at any time before the end of adolescence, the individuation process is halted and does not take place. Next time, that's what our topic is going to be, is on the individuation process. Just remember, you don't have to stay stuck. You do need to learn to identify and manage this. And I've said this over and over again. The identification is the awareness of how you're responding is related emotionally to that age of loss. Then, once you identify that, you can make other choices. So my prayer for you is for you to stop and look at yourself and ask yourself how that loss, how you were affected today as a loss. If you experienced mother loss from the age of 13 to 18, can you relate to any of these themes as an adult? How does that play out in your life? Where are you stuck? Are there ways that you act as an adult that connect with these themes? Share your stories.
We've come to the part of the program where we go what we like to call oyster diving to pull out some of the pearls from today's episode. Of all the stages of human development, the adolescent stage has the most emotional developmental tasks to accomplish. This entire stage can be summed up as creating a sense of balance and answering the questions, who am I and how do I fit in? Appearing composed, in control, and normal, like everyone else, are of paramount importance. If you experienced mother loss during this stage of life, some current adult behavior could be identified as the continuation of working through incomplete adolescent developmental tasks. The good news is that as an adult, you have acquired skills that will allow you to create new and different responses to circumstances and work toward the completion of those developmental tasks. You don't always have to do what you have always done. The Motherless Daughters Ministry is here with resources to help. Remember, you are not alone.
If you are in need of more nurturing words, we encourage you to listen to our other episodes. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you can join us next time. We don't want to miss you. We have many Motherless Daughter resources on our website at www.motherlessdaughtersministry.com. You can also find us on our YouTube channel and Facebook at Motherless Daughters Ministry, where you will find support from over 10,000 women. We hope you'll come visit us, and we look forward to joining us next time.